Yeah. Bottom paragraph 182. To see and be amazed by seeing the handprint of Hashem in the creation. He says the different species that exist. You have birds, you have fish that swim, you have reptiles or insects that slither on the ground. Holech arba, species that walk on four. It's not only swimming, flying, crawling, or walk on four, even the physicality. It's a different physicality, each one. Umidosam, their characteristics. Shimusham, hanaosam, toaltam ba'olam. Uses and pleasures and benefits they bring to the world. It's interesting, found by the Eser Makos. The frogs, when they died, heaps of frogs. There was a stench, intolerable stench in Mitzrayim. By the Orov, after the Orov, there wasn't one there left. All the animals disappeared. They didn't die. So Rashi cites Chazal. Why? Because the hides had value. Hashem says you're not going to benefit from the makkah. The frogs, you have heaps of what? Heaps of decaying dung. Okay, that you'll have. But the Orov, the predator animals, they're not going to die there, because they die, then you have benefit from it. The Arbe lo nishar arechod, even the ones they salted, the tails of the locust, it was a food. They were able to eat it. The wind blew them in, the wind blew them out. You're not going to benefit from the makkah. So I'm saying, there's certain species, they have value. Alive, and even after they die, they have value. Others have no value. But whatever is beneficial to mankind, that's the value. Okay? There's just a little bit of a, seashores. Hart's Mountain, they came up with something. Turtle food, or frog food, flies. Well, what's the value of a dead fly? You used to buy, little canisters of flies to feed your pets. Okay? You find, he says, the rebuke that Hashem said to Eov, who prepares for the raven? It's fair. The Gemara tells us, it's Gemara in Erevin, that the most cruel bird is the raven. It does not feed its young. So the Gemara says, well, what do you mean it doesn't feed its young? It says, a bird or any animal, it feeds its young because it identifies with it. When the raven's young is born, when they hatch, they're white, they're not black. So the raven believes it's not its offspring. It doesn't feed it. Only when it grows its plumage, which is black, which takes just a few days, then it begins feeding it. But initially it does. So who provides for the raven? So the pasuk says when the raven cries out, Hashem provides. Provides to the raven to be able to cover that gap until the mother realizes that it's her offspring. Okay? It's only because they yisu lebli ochel. Young cry out to God when they wander about without food. You have the animals that are in the desert animals. The Gemara says, it's pasuk, David was pursued by Shaul to kill him. So David had a question, what is the value of a spider? Right? So it says he fled into a cave, and then afterwards he was trapped. So Hashem spent a spider and wove a web, sealed the cave. So they saw the cave sealed. They said he can't be in there. the cave is sealed. So then David said, now I understand, I appreciate the value of the spider. It was miraculous that it wove the web so quickly. But because the cave was sealed, they didn't bother checking, because it's not possible, there's nobody in there. But that David was in the cave. So every species has its value. The Gemara says, it's a medrash, not a Gemara. Havi shluchim l'mamokom. Many shluchim, God has many agents. A person has to die, gets bitten by a scorpion. No problem. or by some other person has to die, he falls off a roof. No, Dalamis is Bezdin versus, even though we don't have the Sanhedrin, can't implement the 4 death penalties, but we have representation of those 4 penalties. Person is Chayv Sreifa, he's bitten by a venomous snake, the venom burning through his body, that's the equivalent of Sreifa. Smoke inhalation or drowning, that's Chenek. Right? That's the Gemara says. Different things. Ha-chamishis mima simin ha-chochma hanir bat-smochim. In terms of vegetation, in botany, we find there are plants which are edible plants. Hashem provides. And the different values based on the different classifications and the nature and the makeup and their effect. I mean, the whole idea, today, medicine think they're so advanced. Right? But in ancient times, people, today they call Chinese medicine, but at one time, plants, all remedies came from plants, and they knew exactly which plants were the remedy for whatever may be. The Gemara says Hashem had given Adam Rishon a book, Sefer Refuah. And the Gemara says that Shlomo Melech hid away the book. Why? Because if you had this book, regardless of what the disease or the ailment was, you just checked it out there, you knew exactly how to recover from it. So what happened? People stop praying. What are you going to pray for? You open up the book, you have this issue, you have that issue, just follow the prescription, you're healed within no time. So therefore, he hid it away, now people know you have a problem, you have to pray to Hashem. Okay? So I'm just saying, each one of the plants, he says, the different classifications, their value, whether it's a food value, a medicinal value, whatever the value may be, anti-inflammatory, they have certain things, foods, right? Certain foods, certain things inflame, other things, they're anti-inflammatory, things we eat. They spoke with the cedars that grow in Lebanon, and the azov, and the ivy, which comes out of the wall. It's interesting, they had that. There was an article, they found a sacket filled with seeds, grain, wheat kernels, going back a few thousand years. And they planted that, and I think also olive seeds, planted an olive tree. Today, there's so many things with all the engineering, things over the centuries. Qualitatively, it doesn't have the same potency. The seed, it's a different seed. The wheat is a different wheat. Everything's different. It's like there's a question about what is a kazayas, right? What's the question? The question is, so there's a famous note of Judah because we say there are 2 kazaysim in Abeya, but since we say niskatnu abeyim, eggs at one time were much larger. So the question, what was the size of the original egg? So if a kazayis is the 2 kazaysim in an egg, you have to know what the original egg was. So that's the whole discussion, what exactly a kazayis is. I mean, the world, qualitative, dimensional, it was different dimension. Things were different. Things have changed. Well, but you realize we're able to get 15 bushels out of 3 inches. Well, one time you needed 6 acres to get 15 bushels. Yeah, but those 15 bushels you got at 15 acres, people lived until 100 years old, and and there was his name, their immune system wasn't shut down because you ingested this artificial, engineered type of seed that you're eating. I'm serious. I mean, it's not simple. Or they radiate fruits so they should ripen, or they shouldn't decay on the shelf. Who knows the radiation? You eat that food, do you know what's going to happen to you? But you realize, we're saving the money we save on it. Shelf life, You have the mausoleum and you have shelf life for the food. They put the guy in the box, in the shelf, and they put the food on the shelf. It's the same thing. Okay? But at the Chiddush, even the raven is usually a bird that doesn't. It's not a kind bird. So, yeah. just you see the miracle, the ness. Despite that, despite the nature of the raven is the one that brought the food to Elio when he needed food, and when he was running from Achov. It's his kind of comment. All birds have access to food. It says the reason why a bird, you tear out its crop, and then animal, you sacrifice its stomach, because a bird, it's actually its whole nourishment is from it's stolen. So it's every bird flies all over, but an animal, it's master's feedback or the trough. So there's nothing stolen relating to an animal. So Hashem says even its stomach, even its digestive system, you sacrifice. But the crop in the bird, which contains the food, which is stolen food, Hashem says that I don't want. Throw that away. That's cut out. It's not acceptable. No. No, he just said he saw its value.
Right. But there may be other values?
Of course there are other values. They said, even in medicine, there's Alan, who's in there. Show him how much he knows or doesn't know. The tonsils in a person, at one time, like in the 50s, says it has no value. Only creates problems. Just take it out. Every child had his tonsils taken out by the time he was 4 years old. All colds. Later they found out that actually it's actually a filter. That the tonsils cause a person to be less sick. It filters out many bacteria, and he's in bioengineering, right, Ben? That's what they originally said. They said, let's say, even the appendix also. Yeah, of course. Evolution, correct. Because if you can't figure it out, no, because the question is the answer. That's the problem. The question becomes the answer. Why is it? I don't have the answer. The answer is that's the answer. Right? People will say, you have a question, where's God? That proves there's no God. Maybe there is an answer and you don't have the answer. Right? Same thing. It must be, just an appendage. That's all it is. That has no value. That proves evolution. That was the approach. You can't figure it out. If so, there must be that. The question turns into the answer.